In this video, I'm going to go ahead and route all of those traces on the fetch register. Make sure that I've got everything wired up properly. Now, I double checked with my vendor, and as long as I keep both dimensions, the X and the Y dimension, at 102 millimeters or less, I get a significant price break on the build of this board. And since I only need one of them but have to order 5, that's going to be a pretty big deal. So I'm going to make an effort to do that. And that's going to involve shuffling some of the things that I worked on in the last video. There's a lot to do. Let's get started. Hi, my name is Adam. I'm building a 16-bit computer from scratch. I hope you'll join me on this journey. Well, let's start with a resize. What I have done is I've gone ahead and pulled this in so that my width is, and you can see it down here in the bottom left-hand corner, the width of the rectangle, which is my cut size, is less than 102 millimeters. And so in order to make that work, I have to pull in a couple of things here and a header and sockets here. So ground and VCC up here in the corner. And then if I need to, I can make this wider again. I have plenty of room. I'm only at just under 61 millimeters. So I can make this wider again if I needed to in order to fit more things in here. And I can literally, if I need to, pull these pins and sockets into the space up here that I would create, or create more space and move them down below. So I've got plenty of options to keep this under 102 millimeters wide. And so the first thing I want to do today is I want to try to get that adjusted so that I know what I'm dealing with there. I think I've got plenty of opportunities, and this shouldn't be a huge concern to get this done. So let me work on getting that done first, and then I'll come back and take care of laying out these ICs better. Is it me, or do I have a capacitor that looks like it's got a diode footprint? That's better. So I'm less than 102 millimeters. I'm 61 millimeters tall. This fits quite nicely. I think I can make all this routing work. My challenge is going to be here, the main and the LEDs. I may end up in a position where I need to move the LEDs over, or even move the main bus output over to the right and swap the text back to the left. It'll be one of those things I'll just have to give it a go and see how it turns out. Now I've got things like this where I've got text that falls off the edge of the board. I've got to get all that cleared up. I've got overlapping things here. So I do have to get those sorted, and it'll take me a little bit to do, but I should be in good shape. The other thing I want to call it is it looks like I am incorrectly stacking ICs on top of resistors and the like. And the reality is that each of these resistors actually just needs to have a via placed. And if I place the via, say, right here on the edge of the pad, it should work just fine. As far as the traces are concerned, the traces need to come to this pad, which can be done on top and then continued on to one of these other bits over here. So all of that should be able to route actually significantly easy. And then it's just a matter of carrying those on. Same thing up here is I've got these resistors. I've got a ground plane that I can put vias in. I can actually put the vias right down the center in between and then hook them into the ground plane easily enough there, and then stay out of the way of the ICs. But really actually do have a plan here, and it doesn't look like it's going to be too significantly horrible to accomplish here. Again, this is a 4-layer board, so I should not have a big deal getting this routed. Let's start with a design rules check. Let's see how bad I end up there. Okay, what's left are just the unconnected items, all 464 of them. Let's start here in the corner of the board, and let's just start wiring things up here. Got a lot to do, so That really looks like a completed PCB. Let me make sure everything's visible again. Now the fabs I can get rid of because they are not going to show up on the board. Let's label these a little bit better. I think I need to swap those two because I want the pins on the outside. And then I want to label this just a hair better. So let's see if we can accomplish both of those. last thing to do here is to add build zones. So fill all zones. Now I got to do some vias. The next thing I think I need to take on is to get some backplane strips for my registers. That'll be next time. I made this change off camera. What I did is I rebuilt or redesigned the register PCB. And the reason I did that is the costs are so significant. Once the width of the PCB becomes more than 100 millimeters, 102 millimeters to be precise, the cost increase is so significant that it is cost prohibitive to order the quantity that I need. So I went ahead and redesigned this to bring the width into 102 millimeters, and I was able to get that done. And the height of it grew by 10 millimeters or so. So the savings on keeping the board width, the PCB width, less than 102 millimeters is so significant. I went ahead and redid my register PCB. The width is just 2 millimeters wider than the first version, the one where I had the design of it incorrect. It is 75% as tall as the first version. And because I've been able to keep it, as you can see here, the width less than 102 millimeters, there's a significant cost savings on that. If I look at it in a 3D viewer here, you can see I've relocated a few things. The pins and sockets have been interspersed throughout the board. And I did that just simply for the ease of routing. And the contents I've moved up to the top of the PCB rather than having it on the bottom. The load increment, decrement, the control signals here are moved as well. They used to be near the bottom of the board as well. But one of the more significant things, if I flip the board around and look at it from the other side, is I've actually put ICs on the bottom of the board. Was this smart? Well, I guess I'll find out when I go to try to assemble it. But I believe I'm going to have enough clearance in order to do that, because the sockets that the pins fall into are going to be raised as well. So I think even if I've got a capacitor happens to sit right underneath an IC, I still think I'm going to have enough room to do that. I just have to be kind of cautious about it and take some measurements once I get things assembled to make sure that I've got the room that I need. But I'm going to go ahead and order these up, or add this to the shopping cart that I've got. Then the last thing to do before I place this order is going to be to make a backplane strip for hooking 5 or 6 of these up together, and then having jumpers on either side that'll take all of the lines and everything that I need and move them off, or interconnect everything the way I need it to be. My next step is to actually put together that backplane strip, if you will, and then the interconnects to connect the different backplanes together. With that, I'm going to work on designing up a backplane, and that will be the next video that I do. Thank you for your time. We'll see you soon.